The time for quiet contemplation is over. We must act swiftly.
Otter, what are you doing down here?
Want to play some Sentinels?
Dibs on Argent.
Sentinels of the Multiverse. Can you tell I'm excited for this? I haven't gone and cosplayed for any other games so far. Heck, that's why I've been growing out my hair. That's right, I've been growing my hair so that I could be a replica of the sexiest man-beast alive, the Scholar. Now, there are technically two Sentinels of the Multiverses that I'll be reviewing today, because this game is actually a digital recreation of the original card game that Myth and I play all the time. Pretty much by ourselves, because no one else will play it with us anymore because we played it so much that our weird obsession with the game kind of scared them all away. That's not a joke. We have a problem. Their loss. How to play Sentinels. It's a card game that uses pre-built decks to recreate the experience of being superheroes, fighting against the intense villains of all types. If you can think a major hero, there's a deck based off that playstyle. Batman and his gadgets, the Wraith. Deadpool and his Deadpool guys. Iron Man, Bunker.
Or the hero that no one ever made ever because nobody wants to be the person who just ruins everything for everybody in the middle of the game. Setback.
I like Setback.
You also like Scholar after cosplay as him.
Of course I do.
He's boring. You sit there and heal. All game.
You play Fixer. Put out a stance card, put out a tool card, sit on them for the game. At least my cards fluctuate.
At least I deal damage.
At least I'm not Ab-Zero.
Yeah, no one likes Sub-Zero.
Seriously, don't play Ab-Zero. Each game begins with choosing your 3 to 5 favorite heroes, the battlefield on which you will combat your villain, and, of course, the villain we will take it upon ourselves to defeat. I would suggest starting with Baron Blade. Some villains are definitely harder than others, and just as it wouldn't be very difficult to defeat Calendar Man, yeah, that's a real villain, it's going to be slightly harder to defeat someone like Dark Superman. Yes, that's a fight. No, it's not fair in the slightest. Myth and I have attempted it over and over, and the only reliable way we have found to win still involves getting a good start and then deliberately killing off the Tempest.
The newest development on this plan involves killing the Wraith first, because then we don't even need necessarily a great start.
And actually, we found another development where if we also are using alternate naturalist and we kill off one of the alternate bunkers, then we can sometimes beat him with a horrible start. Yeah, luck can factor pretty heavily into this game. Sometimes the villain and environment decks will be kind to you and you'll be able to draw the cards you need. Other times you'll draw exactly what you needed 3 turns ago while everything falls apart around you and you desperately pull it back together while watching yourself die. When you'll be able to, you'll feel like an amazing strategist and that you really do embody the epic heroes. When you don't, you can get a bit frustrated, but usually it just makes you want that salty run back against the villain. Each round starts with 3 cards in each player's hand, and then the villain goes first. The villain's play and danger all depends on the villain, and can range from dangerous to, well, that's a free turn for us. That's not to say any card is useless, unless you're fighting Ambuscade, but if you do things right, some cards can be rendered useless. For instance, we flipped Baron Blade to his other side here, so he was at full health. Then he played a card that would heal him. Yes, overall it's luck, but you feel so smart when you do that. After the villain turn, play passes around to each hero. Each player draws a card, plays a card, and uses a power. What's a power? On some cards you can play, and on every hero's card are written powers that can be activated on this phase. Usually, powers will be the source of your recurring damage or utility. After each hero takes a turn, the environment impartially ruins everyone's day, though it tends to ruin the hero's day more than the villain's, before the round starts again with the villain. The pre-built decks allow you to know what's in your deck and have it run with a unified direction. Different decks can work off of each other with combos, and the right setups can create insane amounts of damage. That's a huge part of the fun of this game, planning moves ahead while waiting for your turn, debating which card will be best to play, and constantly re-evaluating that play around what the villain, environment, and even your own allies do. Plan well and work together and you'll be the heroes of the multiverse. Choose wrong or have members that just charge bunkers omnicannon to the exclusion of all else? Well, you never know. The universe might like their new dictatorship. This is part of the issue in the video game, though. In person, you have to read each card out loud. You constantly have your hand to look at. It's easy to glance at the field and remember from a line or two of text what each card currently out does. This isn't the case in the video game, however. You can't see your own hand easily. To look at what each of your cards does and plan ahead, you need to open your hand, then double-click on your card, then read it while the battle keeps happening in the background, where you can't see it. If someone else is on board with a plan, you're just sitting there reading a card and they just have to wait for you to realize something is going on. If damage is happening or a threat hits the field, you can very easily never notice because your entire knowledge of the battlefield was obscured. You can't really see what your allies have out, and it's much harder to strategize overall. Around a table, there's constant back and forth, players saying what they have, what they think they can do, and weighing in on decisions. Sentinels has a text messenger and you can suggest what you think should be done, but that's still much less communication overall from the card version. I've only ever played one game with a group of strangers and I never wanted to play another. When you get a group of friends on a Skype call though, the game regains its sense of fun and unity.
She's kind of annoying to play too.
You just have to know how to use Unity's deck appropriately.
That's exactly what you say about Setback.
That's what you say about Argent.
Touché.
There's also a lot of variants of each card. We mentioned 2 earlier, but everyone has another form with different powers that interact with their abilities. For example, Normal Legacy, the Superman character, is a team leader that buffs and protects the team and sometimes deals damage. America's newest legacy, his daughter, is a reliable damage dealer with some team support, just from the single change of her power and health. Now in real life, you would just simply buy the giant brick of alternates. In the game though, whereas many games would probably make them extra DLC, you just unlock them by meeting specific battle requirements, which can get pretty ridiculous.
To unlock Omnitron U, defeat regular Omnitron with Omnitron X and Unity on the team. Neither of them may be incapacitated. Then, defeat Cosmic Omnitron with Omnitron Unity on the team. Omnitron X must be incapacitated, Unity may not be. Then defeat any villain with Unity without Tachyon or Omnitron X on the team. Construction Pylon, Modular Workbench, Scrap Metals, Supply Crate, Volatile Parts must be in play, Robot Reclamation must be played at least once.
That seems
Not really even the most difficult, just the most complicated.
This gives a goal. Something to accomplish for those familiar enough with the game to be able to take on an extra challenge. For those who want an even greater challenge to combat their skills, there's an advanced mode, which makes everything even harder. Then there's challenge mode that makes everything absolutely unfair. Each week there's also a weekly one-shot that will place you in a pre-programmed battle that you'll have to think about in a different way to overcome. But something I said earlier is the biggest issue. That is, for those who are familiar enough. The video game almost requires you to have played and be used to the card game to know what's going on. To those who love and play the card game like Myth and I do, when the scholar plays Proverbs and Axioms, we know what to do. But I'd be willing to bet most of my Holt right now doesn't know what to do when I just said that card name. There's a lot of things we're just used to that will make no sense to an outsider. Why did guys just offer a high five? What does superhuman durability do? Why is everyone so scared of the Kraken? When does the matriarch stop playing? Because of that, it makes the video game very difficult to recommend. It has a lot of what I love about the card game, and you can play it on your own this way. But without having played the card game, I feel there's just too high of a barrier of entry to really enjoy the video game as much as you could. Thus, I would suggest anyone in my Holt go out and try Sentinels of the Multiverse, the card game. Get hooked into an excellent game made by the excellent people at Greater Than Games. Then, once you enjoy and understand the game, I won't need to tell you to go out and try Handelabra's digital version, because you'll already be playing it.